Hey, Carey. So the
Hello
last
again.
time we spoke, we talked about important skills to hone in, and one of them that we wanted to dig into a little bit deeper was um, storytelling. So, what are the most important elements of a good story for MOPS?
Can I back us up 1 second and say, like, when do you think you're telling these stories?
I think all the time, in my opinion, especially as a leader of the group, I need to constantly share praise and the successes that we're doing and make sure others in the organization understand them. There might be big milestones that it's important to share. There might be challenges that we need to share those stories as well. New hires, we need to explain the benefits of working with us. So I do think these should always be prepared.
Mhm.
And I guess the more senior you become, the more frequently you have to do this. If you are more a junior member and your boss is asking you to present, I think it's a good thing. But again, everything sort of rises up from the lower levels up to senior leadership,
Yeah.
and it's important to get your stories in front of the senior leaders.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And I guess, like, a lot of it is, like, understanding what we mean by story. So, I think a lot of times we're called to present, data or analytics, like, how did that email campaign go? Or how did the trade show go? And so I think probably any time that you're presenting any sort of table or chart, like, a good way to think of a story is, like, if I had to sum up what I hope a person learns from looking at this piece of data, what do I hope they take away with it? So that's that right there, that little thing is the story.
So I think some of the elements we could start with would be the audience. Who are we
Mm,
actually speaking to?
good
So I
point.
just shared, like, if it's your boss, hopefully they have a good understanding of what you're trying to accomplish for them. I would never assume that either. I have been a victim of assuming my manager knew what I did and they did
Right.
not. So it is good to have, a base level understanding of who they are, what is important for them, what are they looking to understand from you, and be able to understand again that persona that you're speaking to.
Yeah, that's a really, like, important part, like, understanding the audience. So you want to be able to use their language, not yours. Back to the don't use so much jargon. You want to know, like, do they want this in a 20-second snippet that I tell them in the elevator? Or is this something that I need to give them, like, the full detailed story and all the backup supporting documentation? But that's all a part of the storytelling. Um, I think when you think about it, like, to use, like, classical storytelling type thing, we need kind of a hero or a character, or maybe it's not even about the people, but maybe it's, kind of what is the throughput for the story? Like, what's the
Journey.
point of the story, I guess.
Like little
You know?
hobbits, we're going on our journey.
Yeah, we're going, like, I think if you think of, like, a hero's journey, or is this a horror story? Is this a comedy, a drama? What is it? I guess that's the next part, like, stories have some element of emotion. So when we're thinking about, like, the narrative, we can think about emotions. And I know at work we don't really think of emotions as being a good thing, but I think when you think of emotions such as, like, curiosity, discovery, celebration, those are positive emotions. And we can even have emotions of, like, fear or concern. We've noticed something in the data that's telling us something a little uh, unsettling. Here's what we're going to do to find that out. That in and of itself is a story, but there's a little bit of an emotion in there, which is could be like concern or uh, inquisitiveness, if you will.
Absolutely. I do think they all actually go very well together because in the journey of success, that is a celebration. You've
Hmm.
accomplished this really great thing and the team succeeded. You found a integration issue, which might be a security concern. So you're proactively making sure you're mitigating that risk and putting that aside, and you're bringing the right audience into it. Maybe you're bringing information security or IT into the conversation. So I think to your point, there is emotion, there is like a sort of character or a narrative that's happening here, and then hopefully there is a conclusion, or it might be what's next.
Right. Like I said, like, I like the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Like, each story kind of sets up the beginning of the next story. Which, when you're doing campaign reporting and campaign stories, I always say, like, your metrics shouldn't be the end of what you're doing; it should be the beginning of something. So if you think about each time you present on marketing's what they're doing or marketing operations, like you have this idea of like, we started this, we had these assumptions, we proved some of these right, some of these wrong. Here's what we did, but here's what's next, because so much of what we're doing is like continuous. So we want to make sure that there's like kind of like the laying the groundwork for what's coming next. Something really quick I want to say that we didn't really deep dive into is that like I do think you should consider that your story has some sort of a hero. Um, and that could be other people in your organization, making sure that you're shining a light on your boss's strategy. Like if you're doing a project that was guided by something that the VP brought to you and said, I want to roll this out, like make sure that you include other people in the story. It's important to tell what MOPS is doing, but it's very important to say how MOPS is supporting and collaborating with the rest of the company.
I also think it could be the technology or the vendors that are supporting you to accomplish what you're achieving.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that actually helps with the continued investment in, again, those technologies or those consultants that are helping you achieve what you are trying to do. So also keep that in mind that the hero could be external.
Mm,
It could be somebody that, your boss brought in to help and they helped in a huge way. We should definitely elevate that and share the impacts of their success.
yeah. Or even the customer or the prospect being the hero, because at the end of the day, most of what we do should be viewed upon positively by the people that we're trying to sell to or that we've already sold to. So making sure that we keep in mind those characters, if you will.
Yeah, nobody wants to get 5 emails from us in a row.
No. Yes. Not at all.
No,
So,
they want us to treat them like that we know who they are and to our mantra of getting the right message at the right time to the right person.
yeah.
So the more we accomplish that and they are happy, hopefully they continue to repeat business with us.
Yeah, right. Like a happy customer, hopefully, is a revenue generating customer, and revenue generating customers are always a good foundation for a story from ops.
Absolutely. Well, this was good. I can't wait for our next one.
I don't even know what we're going to talk about, but it's exciting. Thanks, Danielle. All right.
Bye.
Bye. All right.